A Maori welcome by a traditionally dressed Japanese performer is not an everyday sight. But for Auckland's Asian theatre performers, this was a theatrical expression of New Zealand's diversity. It's been more than a year in the making, and for the actors, playwrights and directors involved in Asian tales, their time under the spotlight is finally here.
Do you trust your poo-poo?
Stories of love, separation and human nature resounded in the Herald Theatre last month with the flagship run of Asian Tales, 7 short plays supported by the Ariza Foundation for Asian Performing Arts.
Family.
A miser meets his end in comic fashion in the solo act Mount Head, treating the audience to Rakugo, performed in New Zealand for the first time in English.
Once upon a time, there lived a really stingy man in Tokyo, Japan.
Rakugo is a Japanese traditional art of comedy storytelling, and it has a history of over 300 years, and stories have been passed down orally by generations of masters, to their students.
Don't throw up on my head!
So it's actually a silly story, comedy, but at the same time I wanted to describe kind of absurdity of kind of human nature, like we are in the rat race and just seeking wealth, and we are run by greed. So that's what I wanted to kind of tease about in this play.
Although 5 out of the 7 plays revolved around the Asian identity theme, some of the performers chose to differ.
Put it to my head, and just as I was about to pull the trigger!
These kind of roles are multicultural, and it doesn't matter if you're Indian or whatever you are. If that role suits you, you should be in it, and that's what I've always believed that, and I don't really think I'm being typecast or being put in a block. This, I think, opens doors for everyone.
Well, what about you? Have you found it?
We didn't know who would actually turn up at auditions, so we had an open call for casting, and 50 people or so turned up, which was amazing. I'm talking about actors who, range from professional actors to people who've never, ever been to an audition, a professional audition, and Aliennz is one of them. Up till us, he's never actually professionally done anything. He came in for his first audition and he just blew us away.
In the abstract piece Intrusions, Aliennz played the lone figure, a Chinese gold miner living in the shadows of discrimination against his skin color.
You here to be with me, my flower.
A lone figure represents the hardships of many Asian people that come to the Western world, and they can't speak, they can't relate, they can't communicate properly, and therefore they are at a loss. And it is, we don't often think about it, but it is really hard.
We need to enact laws now to forbid yellow intrusion to God's own.
Returning to his country of origin, Malaysia, for the first time, Citizen 3 faces a growing sense of alienation and identity crisis.
Cab drivers all over town charge me foreigner prices.
It was quite easy for me because the same problems or dilemmas that Sean, the character of the play, is facing, I often face as well.
In all these photos.
The other plays, The Loyal Customer, The Mooncake and the Kumra, and Mask, all portrayed stories of lives split between 2 cultures and identity stereotypes.
What is being Chinese? And how does that fit with being myself?
For me, it was quite intense about, the questions we all have in a way, where we're coming from and where we're living, and that was quite good to see, and different ways they're dealing with it, with identity as well.
If you think about what they've been trying to say about immigration, growing up with 2 cultures, they've just touched the surface, really.
I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to use stereotypes to break stereotypes.
My name is Sean, and I have no idea where I come from. And I'd like to keep it that way.